Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Beyond Borders. I'm your host Nadia, and today we are diving into something that affects every student and young professionals: how to successfully transition from campus to corporate life. I'm thrilled to welcome someone who has mastered both the corporate and academic world. She's the passionate educator, has worked with giants like IBM, and has 11 years of experience in shaping young careers. Please welcome Professor Sunita Rana, ma'am. I'm glad that today you are here on my third episode of podcast. So, starting with my first question, ma'am, let's start with something every student wants to know. You have worked with the major companies like IBM and British biologicals. So, what's the real corporate world like? Like compared to what students imagine in their campus life?
Uh, in my opinion, I would say from campus life, the corporate is different in many aspects, but it is more of a transition period because during your campus life, everything is structured, but you get a lot of support. So you cannot expect some entire like deadlines or timelines from your professor with so much discipline which you expected while you join your corporate journey. So I wouldn't say there is a difference because it go in synchronization with each other. It is more of a transition. The thing that you are actually learning for the 3 years or the 2 years of your MBA and BBA. In corporate life, you apply all those. So it is a transitioning period, I would say.
That's actually a great insight because in college life, student always expect something very magical in their corporate life, and sometimes they forget that a corporate life is not that easy, and it's not that different from academic life, but of course it can vary depending on person's point of view. So here goes my next question to you. Let's talk about skills because beyond our degrees and certification, what are those crucial skills that actually matter in the corporate world?
Nadia, there are so many skills that you have to be a complete package if you have to work in any profile, any industry. But I would say because I've worked in sales and marketing, so I will answer it from the point of view of the sales and marketing profile. So I would say the most important skill which you look in the sales and marketing profile is adaptability. How much you are adaptable to the situation, changing situation, because in sales and marketing, you always on the field. You're working in a very dynamic environment. Sometime it's going to go like a very smooth period where no pressure of any kind. And certainly within 3, 4 days, you're going to feel the pressure of the entire month. So how much you adapt to the changing needs of the company, changing needs, demands, or the changing targets on everyday basis. I would say adaptability and time management are the two most important skill, which I would say if you want to join sales and marketing, you should be looking forward to develop over the period of time.
Right. Adaptability is something that every student should be used to. So here goes my follow-up question with adaptability. Like how can student develop these skills while still in college? Because even when we are talking about marketing or having the skills of adaptability, it's not very common in college life. The student don't get used to it usually. So how can student develop these skills while still in college?
For this, Nadia, I would say that when you join a professional course like BBA, MBA, I think from the day one, you should take your courses like a because that there is a word. These are professional courses. So the idea behind these courses to make you a professional, ready to do the job in corporate. So from the very start, you should develop your time and efforts into learning those skills. If I talk about the management institution where mostly students pursue BBA, MBA, they conduct a lot of events, a lot of competition, inter-college competitions, right? So I would suggest to the students that you participate in all other these all kind of events and competitions because mostly the events comes with a timeline. Mostly the events comes with a lot of efforts from a your side as a team member, not as an individual. So I would say if you keep developing your skill and if you keep investing your time into the process, which is of 3 years in BBA and 2 years in MBA, I think you can easily develop these skills: time management, punctuality, discipline, team working, right? And adaptability, I would say, this is the skill, this is more of a mindset, right? So mindset comes when you face more of the situation which demands the changing attitude with the changing environment. So I would say again the events, competitions, and if you want the practical experience, in our time, I would say it was little difficult to get the practical exposure that much. But in today's time, technology is building the gap, and I'm saying it's very easy for the student to take on any internship on any profile from the comfort of their home, and they can develop those skills very easily.
Right. Like, is there any specific skill you see missing in most freshers in college?
I wouldn't say missing because uh, I believe that everyone has the skill set, but it is in, I would say, it is in inactive mode. The moment you start working on that skill
Hmm.
and the moment you start investing your time, it gets hectic. But most of the time, I absorb in the students, whomsoever come for the guidance, or I guide the students, or I observe them in my, I would say, during teaching sessions, is that they have the knowledge, but they're not able to express their knowledge. So I would say comprehension skills and communication skills are the two things which are, I wouldn't say missing, but they are in the, I would say, improvement area where student can focus a lot. Because see, in sales and marketing, the entire job is all about communication, how you communicate. Interpersonal skills become very dominating here in this job profile. So how you are communicating is one thing, but what you are communicating is the most important thing, right? So if you have a knowledge but you are not able to express it nicely to the audience, to the consumer, to the customer, or to your team, to your boss for that matter, so in most of the situation, the desired outcome you're not going to receive from the other side. So I would say comprehension skills and communication skills, and these are the two skills which are important, but I would say these are the two skills which are very easy to learn. You develop 3 4 months of time, invest 3 4 months of time, and you can learn this skill very easily.
That's right. I absolutely agree with your advice because communication is something very important, and miscommunication happens very frequently, be it in campus or be it in corporate. So, communication is something that you have to excel in. So, yeah, that's actually a good advice. So, here comes like a favorite question of yours. You have had an incredible journey in sales and marketing. So, for our listeners, especially students, like who are dreaming a career in these fields, what is your advice? What should be our top priority if we want a career in sales or marketing?
Sales and marketing. If you're looking for a career in sales and marketing, I want to be honest with you. Interpersonal skills are something that you should be very well with. You should be well equipped with, because sales and marketing is all about interacting. The entire job is about interaction. Whether you are interacting with your suppliers, whether you are interacting with your customer, whether you are interacting with your team. So a lot of interactions. So if you want to make a career in sales and marketing, you should be very good at communicating. So when I say communicating, I'm not saying that you should be very good with only English. You should be very well communicated, whatever the regional areas you've been assigned in future. You'll be assigned in future, and you have to work in that area. So it can be regional language, it can be Hindi, but you should be very good in interaction, in interacting with people, because until unless you will not be interacting, I think no sale can happen, because this is the entire crux of the job. You have to make the sale count. So yes, interpersonal is one thing, and second, sales and marketing is a very challenging and dynamic job profile. So again, I would say adaptability, which I earlier talked about. Adaptability is another thing. You have to be flexible with your job profile. So you cannot be very, you cannot go with a very strict approach that if it is said to be completed in 9 to 5, it will be. I mean, it can stretch beyond that. And so, yes, adaptability and interpersonal skills are the two most important skills.
Absolutely right. I agree with your point. And now that you have given your advice on marketing and sales and what skills we should have, especially for these fields, I want to ask students' favorite topic. It's something that how to crack interviews. Like you train students for interviews, and so what are those make or break moment in an interview which can decide your whole career?
I wouldn't say career, but yes, because every interview is different for every industry. There is a different demand and skill sets, different analysis. This scenarios. Some job profile requires the situation based type interview. Some job profile requires just simple interaction. So if I have to talk about like on a very combined level, which get applies to the every interview, I would say that your attitude, that attitude, basically your non-verbal communication. How are you entering the interview room? How are you interacting, not verbally, but non-verbally? How, what is your sitting posture? Um, how you have dressed? How you are talking? So these all creates a lot of effect. I would say positive as well as negative, and it can be a breaker in an interview. It can be a turning point in an interview. Because see, in interview, no candidate is a perfect candidate, I believe. And even the HR person or the person who is taking the interview, they also know that we are not going to get the perfect candidate. But what to look for the attitude to learn. Right. So if you're like 60% on knowledge and 60% on, I would say, confidence, or that's okay for them. But if you're carrying a negative attitude, very restrictive attitude, I would say they will reject you straightforward. So I would say always maintain a very nice attitude, smile genuinely while you're in a interview room, sit nicely, dress nicely, and because first impression creates a lot of uh, the future uh, platform for
Yes,
the journey.
right. Absolutely right. Now that you have given us so much insight about how to crack an interview or what are these common mistakes we make, here I want to play a rapid fire questions with you. So I'm gonna tell you the question and you have to answer me without giving much thought within a second. So are you ready with
Okay.
that?
Yeah, sure. I'm
Okay, so
excited.
here's my first question. So my first question gonna be most common interview mistake that students make.
Uh, Thinking that it's okay to go casually or casual dressed in an interview. I mean, it's a very biggest mistake. Yes. Because
Right.
nothing is casual in an interview.
So
You should be well dressed.
okay, so the second question is best answer to why should we hire you?
Because I deserve this job.
Okay, okay. So my third question gonna be
Yeah, I
how
want
to
to.
discuss
I'm really
salary
sorry to interrupt
expectations
you.
because
Uh, I okay. I want to interrupt you for this because you shouldn't be answering that because I deserve this job. But the moment you are entering the interview or the organization, I should say it should be showing in your attitude that you deserve this job. You have the right skill set where you are perfectly aligned with the job profile, and I think if they will hire you, you'll be the perfect fit for the job. So you cannot say it, obviously. I said it in a very human sense, but you have to show it through your attitude. That yes, I deserve this. That is why I'm here.
okay, okay. Well, this happens in most of the interview with students that this question is asked, why should we hire you? And then we are just sitting there in confusion that do we give enough of our skills, of our energy into this that we are giving an interview of? So most of the time students get confused and they don't know what to do. And it is a very, I would say, minus point for students that it's not taught in our college most of the time. They are not taught, they don't teach you that this is your skills and if you're confident in it, go for it. They don't do that most often in college. So yeah, this is something that I really wanted to know from you, and now that you have given an answer, it actually does make sense that all you have to do is be confident. If you're going for that interview, of course you're going with some purpose. So yeah, that's the right answer. I'm gonna move forward with my third question: how to discuss salary expectations. A very common question, but something that students don't really ask in interviews.
Again, I would say that be little overconfident in negotiation. See, if they have given you
Mhm.
the salary back, don't underestimate yourself. Be a fighter. First, you fight for the upper limit, whatever is the upper limit, because negotiation is going to come in. Justify that. I'm not saying that you haven't written anything on your resume and you're asking 1 lakh per month. That is not going to happen, right? But if you have
Right.
prepared the resume
Right.
strategically, you have highlighted all the skills, all the internship, practical experience, and for that you might have certain evaluation in your mind in terms of your skill that this is the minimum amount I should be settling for. So I will go below that. I would say if the salary band is there, and if the salary band is not there, they are saying as per the discussion. Then I would say you make up your mind that understand the job profile very nicely, and then you see that for this kind of efforts, what is the salary that I should be demanding, or what is the because everybody has a number in their mind. So I would say go for it. Don't hesitate. Because if your skill set are in the right place and your confidence is right, and if they really want you, let me tell you, they are going to negotiate. Don't worry about it.
Okay, that's actually a clear-cut answer right there. So here I'm gonna ask something which like it's not a very common question, but then again, how to handle tough interviews or interviews that we get rejected from.
Uh, First, I'll come to your first statement, that is how to handle tough interview. In my opinion, there is nothing called tough. You can feel the pressure. That is one thing when you are in the interview process. So, if you're feeling the pressure that you are being pressurized for something during the question and answer, then you just have to understand that they are analyzing your situational handling skills, that how you react under pressure. So I would say if the interview is going tough, don't leave in the middle. Don't give this idea to your mind that it is done and I'm rejected, then why should I try? You should try at the very end, till the very end. I'm sorry. So you should, I mean, keep a genuine smile on your face. Try to answer whatever the knowledge you have. If you don't know any answer, be very honest. I'm not aware of this. Even all the 10 answers goes like I'm not aware of it. Because if they are analyzing on something, so I would say the knowledge is not the central point there. They are analyzing you that if you give you little pressure, how will you handle? Will you panic, or will you stay calm, or will you have a smile on your face? So I would say yes. In tough interview, you have to be extra calm and keep a genuine smile and try it till the very end. And the second question, if you get rejected, first of all, there is no term called rejection. I would say never say this to your mind that you got rejected. If something doesn't go in your way, always think that this was the feedback process for me, right? So if interview did not go well,
Right.
always ask in the end that sir, would you like to give any feedback to me? Or after the interview, you can contact the HR if they respond that is there any feedback for me? Can I improve on certain skills? And try to maintain a journal, which I used to do in my earlier years. For every, I mean, failed interview, very few actually. So for every failed interview, I used to maintain a diary and I used to write where I need to improve because you know yourself during the interview where did you go wrong. So I would say let's just not say this rejected, but I would say let's just say this that this was the feedback interview for me. So I'll be better prepared for the next one.
Of course. Feedback plays a very crucial role in everyone's life. Getting a feedback is something that everyone wants to get a feedback, but sometimes not everyone can digest that feedback because feedback can be negative, positive. It's up to you how you handle it. And I think you should handle feedback very positively, because it is something that tells you what you have to skill up on. So yeah, that's actually a
Yes,
great
Nadia,
answer.
actually, I
So
want to add
now,
one thing. Feedback is important because, even the feedback, you should never analyze the feedback. If even it is straightforward, even it is you're not going as per your wish, you should always accept the feedback. I would say when I joined IBM, before that, I was failing. I think 3 or 4 interview I failed, and everywhere I was getting a very common feedback that the voice modulation is good, confidence is good, skill is I'm not matching, but the only thing you're lacking because we have to hire for this international client, and your communication is not coming, the accent wise, the grammar wise. See, I would have taken it otherwise, but that is what I told you that it is a feedback system. If you think like it's a feedback system, so I maintained a diary. I used to write that I need to improve on communication skills. So I started listening to the English music, English serials. I started building the vocabulary. And that is how IBM happened. It was not overnight, actually. It was not my first interview. Let me tell you. It was my third or fourth. The first try I failed miserably.
okay, now that you have told us about your past experience in interviews, you have created such a strong professional presence after overcoming all the like interview after interview. So talking about personal and professional presence, how can freshers start building their professional brand? Like, what are the things that we can do to create our own personal branding as a fresher?
So, uh, just get active on social media because right now it is the time of technology. Everything else is getting connected over technology. So I would say technology plays a very important role. Uh, so to start with, I mean, if you don't want to go any further, just create a profile on LinkedIn and whatever the area you find interesting, be it sales, be it marketing, be it HR, be it finance, try to build your community. Right now, don't think about that nobody is reading my post, nobody is liking my post. I would say it's not the central point of having a LinkedIn account. The having a LinkedIn account is actually for building the community. Community, you have to uh, send the request to the people who are related to the areas. You read their post, learn what is happening in that area, comprehend that, and try to write. This is one thing which I advise to every student that on LinkedIn post, try to write one post every day. Doesn't matter even it is for like 2 lines, 3 lines, and don't think that nobody has read or nobody has liked. I think that is not the point. The point is the more you're writing, more you're expressing your opinion and thoughts, more comprehension skills are going to be built in future. More knowledge you're going to capture. More curiosity is going to be built that you're going to start reading actually. So I would say get active on LinkedIn, try to connect with the people of your area and post, like, if they have posted something, reply in the comment thread, give your opinions. And that is how I think you can build your professional brand or personal brand on the professional community.
Okay, okay, great. So yeah, LinkedIn is something that can help many people, if especially if you're a fresher, just like me. It's very important to have something on social media. And apart from usually social medias, LinkedIn is something that's very professional to use. And being a fresher, I would also suggest LinkedIn is something that's gonna help you for long term. Maybe if not long term, it can help you with personal branding. So,
Of
okay,
course.
that was a great answer. Now, coming to our last question, what is your message for students who are feeling overwhelmed about their career journey? Because some students just cannot take it anymore and they drop the idea of learning anything further in future.
Okay, I want to give a honest advice, which I really believe in, that don't be too serious. Don't be too much serious about career because uh, right now, if I talk about the graduating or this graduation courses students or the post graduation courses student, You never know what life will be after 10 years, because I have joined corporate with the intention that I was staying in the corporate throughout my life, like till the time I would retire. But you see, there was one training session I got the opportunity during one of my job, and I used to train the new joinee on the product part. So I really liked that. Now this is something I'm very much passionate about. I enjoy, and I shifted to teaching. So my advice to the student is, it is perfectly normal to be confused at this stage, and don't be too serious. Just I would say invest in the process. The process should be very structured, very disciplined. Try to learn every day. Try to build your skills. Job is the side, the parallel thing which is automatically is going to come to you. And I can 100% tell you that even after 10 years, that job will not be of that much importance to you. You might find your passion in music, you might find your passion in art, who knows? So I would say, whatever is the process right now given to you, to study, to pass your exams, to focus on certification, to get a job, just enjoy the process and develop. Yes, so enjoy the process. Yes, so I'm saying that be serious, but be serious while you're doing things. Don't be serious without doing things. I think I see a
Yeah,
lot of this scenario that you're not doing anything. You're not investing in your time. You're just, passing your time, enjoying. That is also good to some extent. But then you're getting confused and you're restless that, what is going to happen in future. I would say you go with the process. You invest like 1 or 2 hours every day on your skill building, and you are going to see a change. That nothing is difficult then. Everything is going to come to you automatically.
absolutely. That's right. That's right. Because taking serious of everything can affect you negatively. And I think you should be very much cool about what you're doing, and something, if it's not working your way, you don't have to drop it. You can learn more about it and can try it again in future. That can happen, but taking it seriously and be like, no, it's not happening, so I don't want to try it anymore. That's something we should not do. And yeah, you were very motivational about this. So I think students gonna love this. Students really need motivational speech sometimes, because uh like amid of all exams and preparation and everything, student feels lost and they don't know where to get the guidance from. So sometimes they don't even ask teachers or parents or anybody, and they feel very depressed about it, and it affects students, I think, on a very serious note, I would say. So what would you suggest that students should do when they are feeling very chaos in their mind amidst of all exams preparation and the interview preparation and everything? What should they do to calm their mind?
I would say never be shy from asking help. Uh, it can be from anyone, be it your friend, be it your teacher, be it your guardian, or be it your parents. Uh, Never be shy, because I would say this is the common this habits with the teenagers or the young, I would say,
Yes,
minds. Let they keep the things to themselves. That is perfectly okay if you want to keep. But if it is troubling you that much, you should share. Because again, I'm telling you, the entire career is a process. It is not a one-time thing, right? So if you think that just by passing the exam and when the interview comes and just within 15 minutes of preparation, you're going to create some difference, that is not going to happen. So why to take pressure? You have 3 years, you have 2 years, you have 1 year, whatever time you have left in your college. I always say that be consistent, not to be very high, not to be very low. Just develop your skill over the period of time. Like we talked about attitude. So I would say attitude you cannot change in one day, right? Suppose you have an attitude that it is a very aggressive image of yourself. I'm just giving an example. So you cannot change that image for 15 minutes just for the interview's sake, but it's going to come again. But if you will be conscious about it, talk to your friends, talk to your teachers, talk to your parents, and then work on it over the period of time. So I would say after 2 years, you might be able to see a change that you have changed a lot. Now you're more calm. Now you're more composed. Now you can handle the situation better. So that is my suggestion. I would say overall suggestion is that develop in the process rather than developing in 1 day or 2 day time, because that is going to create a pressure that is not going to help you. So start slow, slow. Like we have the rabbit and tortoise race. So be a tortoise. Start slowly and then reach your goal and enjoy the process in between.
We totally agree. I think students gonna love this speech because they just lose themselves amidst of all run and everything. So I think they have to be a turtle to achieve something that they want to achieve in their life. So that was such a good insight from you, ma'am. It was such a great session with you. Your knowledge was very valuable, and I think it gave me a motivation to follow your steps and your guidance in future, in my all semesters during my campus. And I think I would keep your words in my mind that running fast in this fast paced world is not something that you should always follow. Sometimes being slow and steady can actually achieve you what you want to achieve. So yeah, thank you so much, Sunita ma'am, for this incredible insights to our listeners. And yeah, don't forget to follow Sunita ma'am and Nadia on LinkedIn and Instagram for more career and more updates on my podcast also. So coming up next week, we would come with more exciting episodes of Beyond Borders with professionals. Someone that they can give us a valuable experience of their life. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Nadia, for inviting me to this podcast. I really enjoyed the conversation and all the very best to you in your future endeavors. Thank you so much.
Of course, of course, ma'am. Thank you. Welcome.